Welcome to See You in the Lobby with a special guest.
A special guest. We got Olympian, All-star, all everything, #1 draft pick, Angel McCoughtry. I'm actually, you broke my heart in college, so I don't even know. I don't even know why I asked you. I don't even know why I asked you to you come on the show. You knocked me out senior year, so I still haven't recovered from that.
Hey, it's so funny because even when I come back home to this day, people are still like, "I'm still mad at you." My Maryland girls. I'm like, "But I'm a Maryland girl too." They're like, "We don't care. We still mad at you." So I'm like, "Man, come on."
Man, I don't think that I've told Matt this many times. I don't think I'll ever recover from that because we should have been in the Final Four.
Yeah, you were hurt about that.
All right, let's not talk about it anymore. So,
but I will say that I watched you guys win the whole thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so
you did have your chance
to have that experience. Like you got a ring. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I guess.
Everybody don't get that.
Angel, do you remember how you played in that game against Marissa?
I just remember just being ecstatic because we had never been there. You know what I mean? Like It was just a first time thing. I don't remember exactly how the game per se went. Do you remember, Marissa?
I don't. I just remember Coach B subbing me out and me like collapsing in her arms, sobbing, and then our trainer had to come get me because I couldn't move. Might have been a bit dramatic, but that's how I was feeling in the moment.
We're in our early 20s.
Yeah, I thought the world was ending.
40 now, Marissa? I ain't gonna say.
Yeah, we up there. Goodness, time flies. But speaking of Louisville, what do you think about the Haley transferring? Because Matt and I were chatting about that earlier.
You know what, guys? This thing is so different with this NIL stuff. You know what I mean? The kids, it's just professional. It's like these kids are going off the money. They're trying to get deals. They're trying to go where they can, get a higher pay. It's just it's weird to me because, Marissa, we didn't have that, right? Which obviously if we did, I mean, imagine how we would have capitalized.
Listen.
And social media, right?
I always joke, we would have been in every Eastern Motors commercial talk about where your job is your credit. They would have had us all in those commercials.
Oh, man. Can you imagine? And then I don't even think we had social media I think Twitter was
we had Facebook.
Out.
That's
Facebook.
It. Yeah.
We have Facebook. So we didn't even have all that. But I just think the motivation is off. How much NIL I can get? How much can I benefit? So I kind of think that's behind the transferring of Haley Van Lith. In a way, I get it. I get, make as much money as you can. But also the other side of me who didn't experience NIL, who's kind of old school, is just well, when we were kids, we just kind of sucked it up. I mean, you can't get any better going to a Final Four and Elite Eight with a team. In our era, we was that's everything.
Literally, I said the exact same thing. The only thing I can chalk up her transferring to is that what Angel Reese did leaving Maryland, going to LSU, and her NIL and profile skyrocketing. It seems that Haley's looking for the same thing, especially because I don't see Haley going to the W and making a huge impact. It's now is where she needs to make her money. But to your point, we just come from a different era where you stick with it, you figure it out. You can't just jump ship when there's a little hiccup.
You don't jump ship, so that's kind of I think that's still implanted in us. Because in my mind, it's okay, when you get to the real world, you're not going to always like your boss, and if you're in corporate or whatever, but you just can't keep jumping from company to company. You got to kind of stick through it. So that side of me is what doesn't like the transfer portal. If that makes sense. The other side of me is okay, I get it. They want to make as much money as they can. You don't know what's guaranteed in the future, injuries, whatever. So yeah, so it's a catch-22, I would say.
I saw your tweet about this influx of players this year, either withdrawing their name for the draft or deciding they're going to stay that extra year. And then UCLA coach saying that, she reached out to W execs and W coaches, and they're like, well, do you want to continue to fly charter and, have your meals paid for? Or do you want to go into the W and the conditions aren't what you're experiencing? But in your tweets, you should be excited about playing at the professional level. So give me some more of your thoughts on that.
Yeah, because we always preach equality. Let's just go to the men's side. Those guys, that feeling that they get, that they have signed to go to the NBA, you could just feel it. You could feel their emotion behind it. You could feel how happy they are to make it. That tradition. That's something that we need to build on our side. Girls shouldn't be well, I know I'm not going to get this in WNBA and get this and get this, so let me stay in college. That shouldn't even be an option, if that makes sense. It should be wow, I'm going to the next level. And that's what it should feel like. That's what it should be like. It shouldn't be college is the next level above going pro. And that's just kind of where we are. Hopefully that will put pressure on the WNBA and the league for us to step some things up. So girls won't have to say, well, let me weigh my pros and cons. It should just be an instinct that I'm going pro and I'm going to the next level.
I agree with that. And I think it's too, as we know, the conversation always is, college players need to watch more of the W. So the college coaches need to encourage their players to watch W players. You should not enter the W and not know who some of these top players are or be aware of them. If you are a college coach and there's a W team in your city, you need to expose your players to this. It shouldn't be, it needs to be all be working together. As a college coach, I didn't necessarily like that UCLA's coach came out and said that, because it's all women's basketball. It should be all under one big umbrella. I think there's another way to get that messaging across. Obviously, she wanted Osborne to stay another year because that's going to help her team. But you don't necessarily see that on the men's side. They're encouraging their players because then it looks good for them. So I think there needs to be more of like a synergy between college and W.
I agree.
I was going to say, it feels like they're really putting pressure on Kathy Engelbert and the W to make a change. What do you guys think? I mean, the obvious is pay, but what other things are a necessity to make the W feel like the next level that you guys know it is?
Yeah, I would say pay first. Like, I just saw a meme on Bleacher Report. It was like, it showed Aaliyah Boston's NIL and then it showed her WNBA contract. Did y'all see that kind of Bleacher Report split? Like, that kind of sums it up, and it kind of just makes, it look like, wow, step down. You know what I mean? It's just like, and I think obviously the travel, the charter flights, these girls are used to flying charter, like you said. I just think certain incentives, like, with facilities, sometimes in the W, like, Marissa, like some of the facilities were just like not up to par to be a professional basketball player.
I mean, you remember those Tulsa days?
Say more.
And sometimes even Chicago, I was hearing like Chicago, they're playing at like a local YMCA with people coming in and out the locker room. These are professional women's basketball players. Why are they sharing, stuff like that? And these girls come from top notch. Our college facilities are like, Marissa, top notch. Like, you have everything. Like, you feel like you're a pro. So I think those are some of the things where you don't want this player who was just coming from an elite program and then coming over here and she's like, what the heck did I just get myself into? She shouldn't have to say that, especially coming off the year she's had, the excitement, all of those kind of things. Yeah,
I think like the Bleacher Report, to your point, it was so misleading because it's like, that's her NIL in its totality. Here's her base salary. She's still going to get endorsements. She's still going to play overseas. It's like, it was like clickbait and just another reason for people to talk bad about the W. And I do think we put so much emphasis on charter flights. There are so many other things that I think would improve the W than like, for me, that's nice. But like, who is leaving college and flying charter? You know what I mean? Like, it's so small. If you're not making it to the W, you're definitely not flying charter. It is like, it is what it is. True. I think the main thing is just creating more buzz and hype and finding a way to bridge that gap between college and the professionals. Because there are players that don't even know who some of these players are. Like, some of the older, like, they don't even know who they are. Like, yeah, it's insane. Like, I can use me as an example. Like, coming into the league, I wasn't familiar with Deanna Nolan. That I watched, I watched the W, but not like, because games weren't as readily, like, the visibility wasn't there. I should have known who Deanna Nolan is when I got into the W. So I think it's more like the W needs to find a way to bridge the gap and connect more and create that hype, because you are getting to live out your ultimate dream and play professionally. It's like creating that buzz, because when NBA draft is around like that, to your point, it's excitement, the fans, the college, everything's about that. I think it's just finding a way to create the hype. No, you're speaking on true facts, because it's so bad to the point where, like, sometimes when I speak to kids at different colleges and schools, and I'm like, do you know who your coach is? They be looking like, no. I'm like, do you know your coach played in the WNBA? Your assistant coach played in the league? Like, do you know they don't even be knowing. And I'm like, and they be like, see, y'all need to listen to me. It's like these kids don't even know who they have in front of them half the time. So if they don't even know who they have in front of them as their assistant coaches who have killed it in the WNBA or professional overseas or whatever, the things that they want to do, how will they even know half the people that they're about to play against? Like you said. So there is a gap that needs to be bridged. I don't know if there needs to be, like you said, more hype around it. To get those girls interested in who they're going to play against or who these girls are, the history of the league. You know what I mean? They don't even know who the past legends are.
okay, you might know Dawn Staley and Lisa Leslie, but beyond those two, or Tina Thompson, Strauss Hoops, beyond those couple of people, do you guys know who these legends are around you? Who are even your coaches?
Yeah. That's but that point you brought up, like I say all the time, I still get people asking me about Shamiko Holslaw and Lisa Leslie. I don't never forget, it was like 5 years ago, I was on a flight and this guy was like, Lisa Leslie still playing the league? Like, no, she's been retired 10 years. We need more forward-facing like folks. Like, you look at somebody like Asia Wilson. I think we need to be making her the face of our league. She's personable. She's funny. She interacts with the fans. She is who, if I could craft who would be the perfect face for the league, it's 100%. Asia. So, but it's like we don't lean into these things. And it's like we still put the same people in the forefront, and then they retire. Sue's retired now.
Yep.
All of Sue's accolades and attention were well deserved, but they should have started to mix in other names, because now Sue's retired, and it's like, okay, now you have to find somebody else to.
I think they can make it where it's a bigger spectrum to promote more than like 2 to 3 players in the league, right? To keep rotating the same every year. Like just in the NBA, we know so many players in the league, whether they're stars, bench players that played in the past. It's enough for them to know tons of players and who are stars in their own way. So, us just rotating 2 to 3, it's okay to rotate 10, 20. People will remember these girls' names. They will know who they are. And like you said, when you only rotate those 2 to 3 for every year, then 10 years from now, when they're past retired, you don't even know the last decade of who's coming in the league. Because it's like, hey, is Lisa Leslie still in the league? It's like, she's been retired for how long? Over 10 years.
Yeah, it's
so you get what I'm saying? So you're exactly right on that. It's like, there is some gaps that need to be bridged. Like you said, here's the main thing I've realized, right, Marissa, is that look at where we are with half the promotion of our male counterparts. We don't get promoted nearly as half as what they are. And look at where we're at. Imagine if we did. It will work. It's proven that it will work.
Mm-hmm. And I've always believed in that. We've played with and against some of the most brilliant women and women with such depth to them, because we know when we enter the W that we're not going to make tens of millions of dollars that are going to sustain us for the rest of our lives. So we have to have, not even a backup plan, but we have to have our life after basketball figured out. So there's so many people that have so many cool things going on, and there's so many great stories to be told, but we don't tell them all. And I always use this example of Mike Evans, who plays for the receiver for the Buccaneers. I watched the E60 on him, fell in love with his story. He has a fan in me for life now. So I watch him play because of that. So we need to be telling more of those stories of W players, because even if you don't intimately relate to the story, you may just feel for them, feel the connection like I did with that. Like, there's so many cool stories to tell. Like with Essence, she's a super talented musician. Like, why aren't we talking about, why didn't we talk about that more? Your business endeavors, my business, like those things are what connect us to the fans and humanize us. So I think the more we can tell those stories too, I think that would help with their growth a lot.
Yeah, I think the content pieces are so important because the storytelling is definitely what makes NBA players special, right? That's what makes us fall in love with that NBA player who came from nothing and now he worked so hard and now he has this and he's giving back. It's like you have a lot of these women who are so unique and dynamic, who come from so many different spectrums, and they have an amazing story. What is it like for a woman to be a professional athlete? She has a kid and she's married and she's a CEO and a businesswoman at the same time. It's like, where is the storytelling on that? And like you said, we need to really start tapping into that more. So to really hone in on these women, I think that can kind of start bridging the gap with the hype. Because it's like a lot of people, they've never met LeBron, right? But they feel like they know him. So they're going to come. Nobody wants to go to an NBA game if they don't know who they're coming to watch, right? So I know when I would meet people in Atlanta, after I would meet them, they're like, we want to come watch you play. Because now they got to know who they're coming to watch. And it's really just as simple as that. Like the storytelling, the content pieces, just getting to know these players.
No, it's so true. And I think the more we can do that, the quicker you're going to see the game grow. And I think a perfect example was this Final Four.
I was going to say the same thing. It feels like social media also is obviously the key outlet. And so many players are you know, especially in college, they know how to use those apps best. You're seeing Angel Reese being able to take her basketball moment and now capitalize on it on social, where her social followings are doubling, tripling. She has over 1 million on TikTok, over 1 million on Instagram, 300,000
just overnight.
Overnight. She has a different form of merch out every single day, which she absolutely should have. But I wonder if now also the players are going to start to feel a little more power with it, because the personalities are like really enticing. Like we all now feel like we know Angel Reese in a way we didn't know her 2 weeks ago. And to an extent, the players are going to have the power in themselves to market on social and become their own brands, which is huge.
No, for sure. Like I was playing golf the other day, and these guys I was golfing with, they've gotten into women's basketball since I've met them, but they're all asking me, so what'd you think about the Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark? Like those are, and then I'm like giving them context. And then that conversation bridged to like, well, you should pay attention to this player and that player. Like those are the things that are needed to help the game grow. And I just think we just folks just continue to miss the mark.
And that's the thing. Like, it's like, all right, don't just focus on these two. Who are Caitlin Clark's teammates? Who are Angel Reese's teammates? Like, yes, those are two focal main points, but like, get to know everybody around them, because you know, we all know that they can't get there by themselves, right? Because I mean, they just had one of the girls just got drafted from LSU last night.
Mm-hmm.
What was her name?
Alexis Morris.
Morris,
Yes. So it's like, okay, did anybody know that LSU had a girl eligible this year to be drafted in WNBA? I don't think anybody even knew that. Yeah. You know what I mean? So, like you said, those are the focal pieces of like you said, you golfing and you say, hey, well, here's, you know, the contacts, and here are other things you can pay attention to as well in the game. So I think that's what we just need to continue to do.
Since we're talking about players and all their off the court endeavors and having such depth to them, so what's up with you lately? I mean, I see the new EP out. I know you got your business endeavors. Are you still wanting to play? Are you just ready to move on to life after basketball?
You know what? I'm not officially retired. I still do want to play. And obviously, I know I'm coming off back-to-back ACL injury, so it's been kind of tough for me to get that call in the free agency. But I'm just keeping hope.
And I think you've definitely earned that. You've earned that. Your resume, your career, what you've accomplished. I mean, you're an Olympian. You've earned the right to go out on your own terms.
Girl, don't make me cry right now, girl. No, but you know, that's what I would love to do. And obviously I understand, you know, it's tough, you know, coming back from back to back, but I just want that one more chance to kind of just finish it out right. That's really what I'm looking for. I know that I can come and just help a team and be a vet. You know, I don't need to come in no team trying to be no star, this or that. Been there, done that. Marissa, we've been there, done that. We paid our dues. We don't have nothing to prove. You know, you just go in, you help the young kids, and you know, you go in there and help a team. And you know, go out the way you want. So that's really my plan. But obviously until then, like, you know, got to get into some other endeavors. So definitely the music really came from just an outlet. It became just another outlet outside of basketball. I wasn't like infatuated with like being able to create something from scratch and bring it to life. You know, I just love that. And then to hear your sound, it's like, this is really, really cool. So it wasn't nothing I was like, oh, I want to be popping from music. It was just like, I love doing this. I'm going to put it out. And if people like it, they like it. And it's like, if they don't, they don't. But come to find out, it's been getting like just a little bit of buzz, and people have been kind of like liking the music a little bit. So I'm really pleased with that.
No, that's great. Like you said, it being an outlet for you, and if something comes from it, great. If not, like it's something for you to have that self-expression. I mean, if you want Matt and I to make a cameo in the next music video,
come in the booth, come in the video. I need y'all something.
Let us know.
No, but
I always see you out there making moves, and ice cream shop. I mean, I saw the truck, so you still got it all going on.
Yeah, the ice cream. I had closed it during COVID. Like, obviously, COVID was just so hard on small businesses. Like, it was just torture. So I closed it. It's been closed for obviously 3 years since COVID. But now I was like, you know what? This is the time to try to bring this back and really get it going again, because I did enjoy doing it, and you know, the kids really loved it. So we're gonna bring it back. We're gonna try to have the opening mid-May.
Awesome.
So
okay.
Look out, y'all! McCoughtry's ice cream.
Let's go.
Come back to Atlanta.
Well, we won't keep you any longer, Matt. You got any?
Oh, wait, do you still have the mushroom, the mellow mushroom?
We actually we sold our stake in it.
Nice.
All right, it's a long story, but it was all for good reasons.
Okay,
Our
dope.
co-owner, his health was declined. It's a whole thing. But
the dope thing is that you guys did that, like you said, like those dope things that you guys do. We just need more like content on that. Like, you know, you have women owning like big franchises. Like these are big deals. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, then it creates more opportunity for others, because I remember when Elaine and I franchised out, we had so many people asking, how did we do this? How can we be involved? Because people aren't knocking down our doors for opportunities like that. So
exactly,
the more we can tell these stories, the more people hear, oh, these women are interested in this. This is an opportunity for them. So working on some things, but right now main focus is gaming society.
Is the podcast.
Yeah, and good old see you in the
lobby. So
lobby.
no coaching in the future, Marissa?
Nah, especially with all this NIL and transfer portal, I think I'd get fired day 2 on the job.
Oh man, yeah. You know what? I just don't have the patience. The kids are different. They're not like how we were. They're just a little different. I get it's a different era. I don't have patience. I just can't.
That's fair. That's very
and
fair.
it's so time consuming and such a commitment. You have to love it. And no part of me loves it. Yeah. I love the game, but I just coaching isn't for me.
Yeah, you want to have your time to yourself. Like it is a lot of time. Like you got to be their therapist, their mom, their dad, their cousin. You got to recruit all day. The time.
Yeah, you have, and we came from such a time consuming profession.
Yeah.
To go into another one, you have to truly like it. You miss overseas. I know you were one of the players that really embraced playing overseas and like the culture. Do you miss it at all?
The face isn't selling me, Angel.
I don't miss the lifestyle, like you said, the constant grind of just playing all year over there, being gone so long. I just feel like now, you know, at this point, we just want to enjoy the free spa labor. And if I'm going to Italy, I want to go there just to relax and drink limoncello.
Yeah, no,
you know what I'm saying?
I'd always tell people, like friends and stuff, when it's time to leave, and I'm like have a major anxiety attack because I'd never wanted to leave. I'm like crying. They're like, but you get to travel the world. I'm like, yes, I'm very grateful for that, but we're not backpacking through Europe. We're practicing twice a day. We're playing. Like, it's not just all fun and games. And a lot of times you're in remote areas where there's not a whole bunch to do.
Yeah, some places weren't even, like you said, up to par. Like some places still had like the toilet was like a hole in the ground.
No.
Yeah. Right, Marissa, stuff like that. It's just like, oh.
That would be the worst. A road game, and you're getting ready for the game, and you go to the bathroom, and you look down, and you're like, oh, man.
And you're like, oh, what's that? I gotta try to aim. I have to try to aim in that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, some of the conditions, freezing cold gyms.
You saw the Chelsea Gray tweet from even last week about how the coach got hit with a garbage can or something.
Yeah. Batteries thrown at you.
Yeah. Yes, like, everything. And even some of the gyms, like the floors were like concrete. It wasn't even like a floor we're used to with some of the bounce, the shock absorber.
Yeah. Because it's like just concrete slab and then
today,
floor over it.
I could never play on that today.
Oh,
the way at this age, never.
Be hurt for days. You know, Angel, we were playing you guys when you and Tina were with Fenner, and I was on Eterney. And you remember when our fans got in that fight? It was like the hometown Fenner fans got in a fight with our fans, and they had to pause the game, and they put the tear gas, and we had to go in the locker room.
I think I do remember.
And they were like breaking glass and throwing batteries, and then the riot police came through tear gas, and we were in the locker room for like 45 minutes, and then we had to finish the game with no fans.
It was just horrible. Like those are the things we were like crying because we didn't want to have to experience. You know, what I mean, everybody's like, "Well, you're going to Europe." It's like, no, it's not the Europe you're seeing on TV at the spa. We're just like, this is like intense. We got to deal with like a lot of stuff
on mini buses for hours.
Oh, it was tough. So I definitely don't miss that side of it.
No.
Obviously we miss what our bank account looked like during that time.
But that was nice. It was
that's
nice.
Probably the only thing I miss about overseas.
Yeah, that was nice. Yeah.
Been there, done it. Don't need it. Honestly, looking back, I kind of think like, dang, how did we go through that? Like, I look back like, how did I do that?
You gotta be mentally tough.
I was gonna say, I feel like every Marissa story overseas is always like, what?
Yeah.
Like it never sounds like it was
I don't even know
great.
to this day how I did it now, thinking about it. And for so long, like 10 years of it, I don't even know.
Sheer will and determination.
Like, at this age, my mental couldn't even ever go there again.
Yeah, it was.
That makes sense, ever. So
but thankful we were able to experience it. We got to travel to some places that I'd never even heard of, see amazing places.
Now that is those are the pros, the good side. Let's not just say it's all bad. Like the good side, like you said, you get to visit another country. Like we learn things that most people would never like learn from living somewhere else. Like you could literally look at the news and be like, if they say something on the news, you can be like, that's not true because I live here. I'm over here. You know what I'm saying? It's so many dope things about obviously and lifelong friends.
Yep, I have friends literally all over the world that I still talk to. Like I actually, one of my French teammates, she's getting married in July, so I'm like trying to decide if I'm gonna go for her wedding. So definitely, and so it taught us how to adapt like this. Like our ability to adapt, I credit 100% to the lifestyle of
that. Oh my God, that is so true. I was just telling someone that I feel like I can just be anywhere and know how to adapt, and I think that does come from us being able to go so many different places that we weren't used to and having to figure that out. Mm-hmm. That is deep.
To not know the language, you're talking through hand gestures and broken English and pointing to stuff. No, for sure.
That is so true. So, yeah, I think that's a big key that people don't know is like your adaptability, being able to adapt anywhere you are in your environment because of us traveling so much. You know,
Matt, you want to experience the day in the life of a women's basketball player overseas?
Ooh. I mean,
we can dress you up as Joanna, man. Send you over there.
Man. I think you're having to respect after like one day. You'd be like, whoa.
Yep. That's another thing I would say.
I would love to do it. We should go. We should do a podcast one time.
And go
find somebody and follow them.
Because if people knew, like even think about that, like you lose a game and they don't want to pay you for a month.
Oh, I've heard that. I've heard about that. Yeah.
And then they get mad that you lose. It's like, hey, this is sports. You can't just be perfect.
Jesus Christ. They want to get personal. It was a time.
It was so personal.
It was a time.
It's like their end all be all. Like they're diehard about it. So it's just like you lose a game. It's like the end of the world, and you're just like, oh my God, I'm not used to this because we lose in America, and it's like, all right, we got to bounce back to the next. Not over there. They'll hold on for that for like months. Mm-hmm. When you guys lost that game in October, and it was like,
oh my God.
Like, why are you bringing up old stuff? No, for sure. But we were very fortunate to do what we do, and now be able to set ourselves up for post-career success.
Absolutely.
But it was always fun competing against you and with you. We did play on the USA team with Don that one year, one summer.
Brazil, was it?
Yeah, that was super fun. So
I think that was like Don's first time like introed into like the USA basketball teams.
Yeah.
And I think like from then on she paid her dues and then she basically became an Olympic coach. But that was really cool, like being coached by, and that was before her South Carolina blow up. And
yeah, she was still at Temple at the time.
She was still at Temple, so she was still kind of new at Temple too. She wasn't like this established coach that she is now. So for us to like be coached by her during that time before like the Dawn that everybody knows, she was still like even pretty good back then. What you say, Marissa?
Yeah, no, for sure.
She just had it.
You could tell she was gonna be a great coach.
It's like
it was only a matter of time.
Wow, she's gonna be good. Like she has it.
Yeah, for sure. No, yeah. So cool to say we were coached by her, but we appreciate you, Angel, and as always, wish you success.
Yes. We need to see you back in the W, Angel.
Yeah, we're gonna start the Angel farewell tour. We're gonna start campaigning for you.
Y'all so much. And hopefully y'all soon I can come back to the hometown and see y'all in the lobby.
Yeah, you gotta come to the lobby. And
I gotta come to the lobby.
We're gonna send you some lobby merch.
Hell yeah.
All right, thanks, Angel.
I appreciate y'all. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Angel.
Appreciate you.